Week 7. I don't even have words for our Week 6 match. Everyone keeps telling me I threw that game away. I'm the one who choked. I'm the one who blew it. When that's just quite simply not true. It was you. All of the viewers and every single one of you in the PPL. You are the reason I lost this game. You make me care too much. Every single one of you. Because you would have shredded me in the comments. You would have said you should have switched out preserve differential. It's your fault. And I am not taking the blame for this. As much as every single one of you wants to say that I am the one to blame, I am not having it. I'm not having any of it whatsoever.
Hey, Pete. Yeah, it's me, Paul. Yeah, your opponent this week. I hear you throwing a lot of blame around here. You're whining a lot, just crying and just complaining. And I remember when that wasn't a thing. When RichaadEB was this guy who people looked up to and was mature and didn't complain and blame everyone for his failures. I'm going to tell you a little story here, right? I was a 20-year-old, down on his luck, things weren't going well, and I just want to tell you to make me happy. And I turned to competitive Pokemon to do that. I turned to competitive Pokemon, and it worked. I became a lot happier just from watching competitive Pokemon, more specifically draft format. I watched the GBA every week. It made me happy. It made me feel good. It made me smile, and everything was great. And the GBA folded, and I thought, oh no, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And then this new league came out, the Pokemon Premier League, PPL, with this pricing system. It was based off of British football. It was brilliant. I loved the idea. And I thought, I'm going to watch this league. And I watched everything. I watched all the draft analysis. I watched almost every battle that season. And I discovered some cool people. Shroomraver, Shoddy, Ellie, Titos, Lacen MC, the Dom Fanac, and you, right? I discovered you, and I was a huge fan of you in Season 1. Nottingham Forest Curse, it was an awesome team. I loved watching you every week. I loved it. It was entertaining, and you were a guy I looked up to. And then Season 2 came around, and you, of all people, asked me if I wanted to be an analyst for the PPL, and I was like, yes, please, that'd be awesome. I was invited by you, a guy I looked up to and meant so much. And I supported you all Season 2 as well. I watched you struggle. You still stuck by your fans. You stuck by, you kept up hope, And that Rye was a Rye I looked up to. Season 3 came along. I watched you get relegated to my good friend Trav. And it stung to watch you get relegated, but knowing that I was now in D2, you were in D2 with me, and I got to battle you, this guy I looked up to. I was so excited to get to battle you. It was awesome. And I watched you change. I watched you complain after every week. Watched you whine. You insulted your fans. You insulted the other players in this league. And frankly, I'm just sick of it. It's been 6 weeks now that you've been doing this. I'm sure I'm not the only one who's sick of it, but I'm the first one to come out and say something about it. You're not as good as you think you are, Pete. You're not as important as you think you are. You're not as great as you think you are. You're just some guy who thinks he's way better than he really is.
Paul, you have got some goddamn nerve coming out here and interrupting me on my video. Who do you think you are? You have said it yourself. You are quite literally a fan. You found me. You have the privilege of competing against me. You don't get to come out here and ignore me. You're just some newbie. This is my 3rd season in the PPL. This is only your first. Your first proper season. You might have come in at some time last season. That doesn't count, Paul. As much as you might want it to. This is your first season. This is my 3rd. I'm the veteran here. You're the newbie. You don't get to come out and ignore me.
Yeah, you're right, Ryan. You're the veteran here. I'm just a noob. I showed you how much I respected you as a person, as a battler. And this is what the things you say to me. You just insult me. And you know what? I may be the noob. I may be the new guy in this league. I may be the rookie. And you may be the 3-year veteran. But if you're a veteran, then and I'm just some noob, why am I already better than you? Why am I already better than you, Pete? The most wins you've gotten in a season is 4. The best record you've gone is 4-7 in a season. I won 4 of my first 5 games this season, Rye. In my first full season, I go 4-1 to start the season. Have as many wins as you already did. And I'm going to get that 5th win by destroying you this week. Because, Rye, I am just flat out better than you. I'm going to have 5 wins after this week. You're going to have only 2. I'm currently in that playoff spot, Rye. The same game that you got relegated in, I'm going to use that to get myself promoted and be in D1 next season. A spot where you will never be again because you're just not that good. You're not. And on top of all that, being a better battler than you, I have a better team than you do. Look at my team. Manaphy, Megapincer, Hydreigon. Oh yeah, Hydreigon's not that good, right? I watched you use it last year and you didn't do very well. Wait, Hydreigon's actually good? I wouldn't have known from watching you last year because you used it horribly. And this team is so good. Togevar ranked at number 1 in the preseason power rankings. My team is just that good. But on top of that, I'm also good. I've proven it this season. I'm 4-2. I'm currently in the playoff match. And a win right here will put me in a spot where you can't catch up to me, Rye. Your team, with your Slowking as your leading killer, let's face it just doesn't measure up to mine. Just like you don't measure up to me in real life, Mr. 5'6".
Height jokes. Height jokes, that's what you're resorting to, Paul, huh? You can say that if you want. You can make whatever claims you want about your team. But let's face the facts, Paul. You are the one that's cheating here. You are using the most obvious, clear-cut threats in the league. Manaphy, Megapincer, Hydreigon. You take the clear-cut, easy way out. You prove nothing by showing that you have wins this season. You prove nothing. If I had the team you did, I had more wins than you had. I wouldn't even lose. I try to be different. Take mons that haven't been used as much. I take the Mega Absol, which now, it didn't work, but at least I tried it. At least I tried something different, Paul. You are clear-cut the same using Manaphy, Megapincer, Hydreigon, Gardevoir, taking the most obvious threats in the league and just using them yourself. Just because you have the best team in the draft does not mean you are the best. There's a very, very clear-cut difference between you and me, Paul.
Yeah, there's a big difference between us all, right? That's 10 inches from the top of my head to the top of yours. But that's right, let's just stop with the height jokes. I'll just do what I do best, and that's doing my talking on the field, in battle. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to destroy you, right? I'm going to crush all hope you have for the season. I'm going to beat you. You're going to be down to 2-5. I'll be 5-2. To even have a chance at the playoffs, you'd have to win all your games the rest of the season and hope I lose out. Because there's no chance of you making the playoffs anymore, Rye, after I beat you this week. And you can say all those mean things. You can insult me. You can insult everyone in this league. But you know what, Rye? I'm going to make you choke on those words harder than you choked against Tup last week.
Alright, the match against Paul, after he rudely interrupted me. You can see that he has brought Cofagrigus, Bronzong, Tangrowth, Manaphy, Megapincer, and Gardevoir. And you should know what I'm bringing, because it's past halfway in the season, and you should really, really, really know by now to watch my team builder videos. Now, he brought Cofagrigus. That's a problem. Can't normal spam over everything. Gonna go with my original plan though, which is lead with Gloria, get up rocks, and we'll be good. That's the plan anyway, and we'll see what he wants to do. So, let's get into it. No more messing around. We're gonna see what we can do here. Remember what I said in my team builder, if you watched it, about the match, because it's fairly accurate. Now, he's gonna lead with his Gardevoir, is I'm going to lead with my Hippo. It's going to trace my Sandstream, and technically Gardevoir is the one who's going to get up the sand here, which is hilarious. Now, he's just going to go straight for a Moonblast turn 1, and you can see we take this okay-ish. It does just over half, but I'm pretty sure it's a roll, so technically we might be able to live another one, perhaps potentially, as I am going to get Rocks turn 1, and now I don't really want to risk the roll, so I'm going to go into Pyroar, who can take a Moonblast okay-ish. Not the best, but it can take it okay-ish. The best thing on my team to take a Moonblast, basically. As he's going to go for another Moonblast, and he's going to do just under half. With the sand damage, it turns that to just over half. But I know we can take another one, and I can fire off a Fire Blast. This is a Specs Fire Blast. He reveals he's scarfed here by going for another Moonblast, which does a nice amount of damage, which means I'm going to die to sand damage, but he gets a special attack drop, and then we miss a Fire Blast. Without that special attack drop, that was a roll to kill that Gardevoir with the sand damage. He got the special attack drop, which means he would have been able to live it anyway, but still. Tart Scream, you are letting me down, son. I'm going to bring in Stoutland, and I'm going to scare this thing out. I am going to go for a Crunch, expecting either the Bronzong or the Cofagrigus to switch in, but he switches in the Tangrowth instead. So I'm a bit annoyed. Could have gone for a massive Banded Retaliate there, but I didn't. As he's going to go into Tangrowth. Now, he can chew this no problem. Does basically nothing. By the way, I have T, because T is great. Now, I don't want to risk a knockoff. That's what I expected him to go for here. Expected him to go for a knockoff, so I'm going to go into my Mega Garchomp. Obviously, he doesn't take pretty much anything from a knockoff, but he's going to switch out into his Cofagrigus after I just revealed Crunch on Stoutland. Okay, so now the Sandstorm's going to go away, but I'm going to set up a substitute, expecting him to go for a Will-O-Wisp this turn. We can see his leftovers not Cold Berry. I mean, it doesn't affect Mega Garchomp, but it does affect Stoutland. So, I'm going to Mega Evolve, and I'm going to go for a substitute, expecting the Willow. So I can get behind a sub, and Mega Garchomp behind a substitute is very scary. So, let's get up this substitute. As he is going to go for Toxic Spikes. So, Toxic Spikes aren't fun to have, but it does mean I get Garchomp behind a sub for free, which is great. So now I'm just going to go for an Earthquake and try and gauge how much damage I can do to this Cofagrigus. So we're going to get it off here with a really cool Mega Garchomp animation, and it does just under half to this Cofagrigus, which is a pretty nice amount of damage. He's going to go for a Hex, and I was praying that this didn't break a sub, but unfortunately, it does. Which is a bit annoying, and the reason for that is because I'm a naive nature, which lowers my special defense. If I'd had a minus defense lowering nature, that Hex wouldn't have broken my sub. Rip in Garchomp. Now, he's going to switch out into his Bronzong, and I'm actually going to go for a substitute, expecting him to be a bit cheeky and either go for a Will-O-Wisp now or try and set up another layer of Toxic Spikes or do something that wasn't Hex. And he switches out into Bronzong because I'm going to get behind a sub. So now I'm going to go for a Fire Blast and try and see how much damage this does. And you can see from this, it does an okay amount of damage. Again, just under half, probably about 40%, which is okay. And he's going to reveal Hidden Power Ice, which is obviously going to break my sub. So I know I can't stay in here and go for another Fire Blast to try and get him down to low amount of HP, because he will take me out with an HP Ice. So I'm going to switch out, and I'm going to go into the best thing to take an HP Ice on my team, and that is Dark Flight the Ampharos, as he's actually going to get cheeky here. I don't approve of this pull, as he's going to get up Stealth Rocks. So I could have got up behind a sub again there, but wasn't really worth it. So now, I'm just going to go for a Thunderbolt. Hope he stays in. But he doesn't. He's obviously going to switch out into his Tangrowth, and I did know this was coming. Could have gone for a Volt Switch, but I didn't. I kind of wanted to see how much damage this would do anyway, so I'm just going to go for a Thunderbolt. As we can see, this does quite literally nothing to this Tangrowth. That's Magnet boosted max special attack modest Thunderbolt from an Ampharos. Does nothing to a Tangrowth. Now I'm going to Volt Switch. I should naturally outspeed him, and I do. Obviously, I have 94 speed investment too, so I was going to outspeed him regardless. I do get a crit Volt Switch there, which doesn't really matter. And I'm going to go out into Lobster the Shaman, who can take basically any hit, as long as he doesn't go for a Sludge Bomb, which I didn't expect him to, because, you know, Ampharos was already poisoned, so there's not any reason for him to go for that against Ampharos. He's just going to go for the Giga Drain. Not going to do much to Lobster here. And I can scare him out with a potential Air Slash. But I'm not going to go for it because I know if he's Specially Defensive Assault Vest, which I think he is, this won't kill. Air Slash will not kill him right here. So I'm going to switch out, I'm going to pull a switch. I expect him to go out into Bronzong, and I'm going to go into my Mega Garchomp, and I can Fire Blast it again, which would be nice. or if he wants to stay in, then I can Fire Blast this Tangrowth as well. But he switches out, goes into the Bronzong. Which is nice. After a bit of Stealth Rocks, it's probably looking like a roll-ish. It's going to take him down to red with a Fire Blast anyway. But he is going to switch out the Bronzong and go out into his Manaphy. I did somewhat see this coming, and I was debating going for an Earthquake at this point, but I didn't. I'm just going to go for the Fire Blast. It's not going to do much to this Manaphy. I was hoping for a burn. No burn. At least we hit those Fire Blasts. Tart Scream, take lessons from Mahai, will ya? Thanks, mate. Now he's just going to go for an Ice Beam, sack off my, he's going to take out my Mega Garchomp. I'm just going to sack it off. Was hoping, I didn't want to let him set up a substitute for free, so I did just go for an Earthquake, just in case he wanted to get cheeky, expecting my Mega Garchomp switch out. So I didn't want to let that happen, so I did just go for an Earthquake there, but he just took me out. Now I'm going to go into Ampharos, so I know he's going to switch, so I'm going to go for a Revolt Switch. He didn't bring either of his electric immunities to this match, Donphan or Electivire, so I'm just going to go for a Revolt Switch, as he is going to bring in a Tangrowth. Again, I can't do anything to this guy, and he's going to regenerate her up more than I can do to him. So I'm going to Volt Switch. And I'm going to go out into Lobster the Shaman again, because I can Air Slash this guy. I know it's not going to kill. I know he's probably specially defensive Assault Vest at this point, but I am just going to go for the Air Slash and just hope I can do as much damage as possible. We'll have to see. The Rocks and Poison is really starting to rack up now. I don't really have too many switch-ins with Lobster left. I'm going to go for the Air Slash. Let me see, it does a respectable amount because we do get a crit, and he flinches, which is nice. We do get a crit flinch, which is cool. But now he's going to be scared out. He's going to preserve his Tangrowth and probably go out into Bronzong, so I'm going to go out into my Stoutland, because I can crunch things and stuffs, and that's cool. Only issue with this is that I know he's going to probably just go straight back into Tangrowth, because he can take any hit from a Stoutland. He's going to switch out into Bronzong like I expected, and expecting the obvious crunch, I am in fact going to go for the return, hoping he's going to go back into his Tangrowth, but he stays in with Bronzong, as I'm going to get off a ban and return, and it nearly takes him out anyway, which is pretty cool. But he is just going to go for the Psychic, which is going to get pretty nice damage off on the Stoutland, and now I know he can go straight out into his Cofagrigus. He's got to know I'm choiced at this point. So I'm going to go out into my Ampharos, which is the best thing I have left to try and do some damage to that Cofagrigus. Bearing in mind it can't really touch me. It could go for a Hex, which would do a nice amount of damage, but I outspeed it. Could get off a T-Bot against it, but he stays in. Goes for a Psychic, and now Ampharos is in quick attack range from Mega Pinsir, and is going to die next turn to Poison anyway. So that was really selfish of Paul. He really shouldn't have done that. I'm just going to get off a T-Bot and take out the Bronzong. Yay, Ampharos did things. Ampharos is going to go down to Poison, but now at this point, everything's worn down to the point where Mega Pinsir can just sweep up with Quick Attack. So that's that. There's nothing else I can do at this point. Yeah, that's pretty much game at that point. So yeah, he's going to get a 5-0 victory here because he can just sweep up with Quick Attack. And I know some of you are going to say, you played poorly, or, you know, Paul played a really great game. I don't agree with either of those statements. I believe that I called in my team builder video. I said, as soon as he gets in control of the match, he wins. Because, like I said at the start of the video, when Paul interrupted me, he's using the most obvious threats in the league, Manaphy and Mega Pinsir, and ones like that. So once he got in control of the match, there's nothing I can do to stop him. Once he gets in control, starts wearing me down, Mega Pinsir just comes in and sweeps, because that's what Mega Pinsir does. And there's nothing I can do to stop him. And that's exactly what happened. Like, I knew it was coming, but there's nothing I can do about it, because Paul drafted, you know, the most obvious threats in the league. He gets a crit on that return, by the way. Totally mattered. And because he drafted those obvious threats, there's nothing I can do to stop him. Even the best player in the league wouldn't be able to stop him. So, not with my squad anyway. So, that's what's going to happen. He's going to be really selfish here and take out my Stoutland with a Quick Attack and not let me go for a Giga Impact against him, which I was going for. Really, really selfish of you, Paul. Just saying. So he's going to take a 5-0 victory. We're going to take a 5-0 loss. It was expected. What you're going to do. I know people are going to say I played badly, prepped badly, whatever you want to say. I don't care about what you guys think. Let's be real here. I really don't care what you guys think. At the end of the day, I know how I play. I know what this match could have been. So, you can leave your comments if you want. I really don't care what you guys have to say. And next week, we're playing the guy who's first in the league, currently undefeated, with a plus 27 differential. Monotui, Tampa Bay Luxrays, and I'm going to end your streak, Mono. Just letting you know now. Just brace yourself, because I am going to end your streak. I'll see you all next week. Get out of here.